My homily for the 7th Sunday of Easter, the 17th of May 2026. So Jesus, the physical risen Jesus, had gone. He who had brought them such comfort after the trauma of the crucifixion had ascended into heaven. The resurrection appearance Gospels emphasise the physicality of the risen Jesus. He ate food, and Thomas, good old Thomas, was spot on in wanting to put his finger into the wounds. Then he could be sure that this was the authentic Jesus. And so he was, but now he was gone. So what next? No doubt we would all like to have a good chat with the physical risen Jesus, have him on hand whenever we needed him. But the danger is that he would become a sort of comfort blanket that we would not want to let go of. We would be too focused on him and keeping close to him, rather than going out and spreading the good news about him. Jesus knew that his disciples had to let go of his physical presence if the church was to grow and move on. I always think that anything I do is truly valuable if it can continue without me. If it is just built on me, then it is not as good as it should be. You've said some kind things about me in the feedback about our centenary preparations. Thank you. But I wonder, is it built on me, or will something endure after me? The true test of its worth, really. The disciples knew what they had to do after Jesus had ascended. They had to pray to make sure that they built on God. Prayer is something we can all do. In any spare moment, we can call on God to make sure that whatever we build on God. The apostles devoted themselves to prayer, it says, together with the women and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and his brothers and sisters. They gathered in community, just as we are gathered now, a vital part of their prayer lives and ours. It was the first novena, a series of days of prayer for a particular intention. They were waiting for the promised Holy Spirit, for St. Paul said, "No one can say Jesus is Lord unless he is under the influence of the Holy Spirit." 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 3. In other words, we can't do anything in the spiritual life without the help of the Helper, as Jesus calls him, the Holy Spirit. The saints realised that. St. Catherine of Siena frequently referred to herself as a wretched sinner. She was so close to God, but she knew how much she needed the Lord and depended on him. Hence all the time she spent in prayer. So we need to pray, especially in this time between Ascension and Pentecost. And what should our prayer be? Very simple. Come, Holy Spirit.